Mick and Sam, taking you to Jungle Land. Bengals pride, it fills the air. Every week we're always there. Touchdowns, tackles, all the plays. Bengals roaring every way. Stories, news, and game recaps. Jungle Juice, we bridge those gaps. Welcome to the Jungle Juice. Mick and Sam, let's break it loose. Cincinnati, hear our call. Bengals fans, unite us all.
Welcome into this week's edition of the Jungle Juice podcast. I'm Sam. He's Mick. How's it going? It sounds like you're having a really good time over there, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, we won't talk about any of the.
No, I just say you're having a good time, right?
Yeah, I'm having a wonderful day today, and also, how many more days do we have until NFL? Whoa, you're clean shaven.
Yeah, you didn't realize that? Yeah.
No, God, I don't know if I kind of like the goatee a little bit more now that I see your bald face here.
Right, it was a little weird. I finally got to a point where I was just, I don't know. I needed a change. A lot's been going on, so I was like, you know what? I just needed something a little different. And I given it a different try. Maybe I don't know if I'll grow it back, and that's the best part. That's the best part about it is it'll grow back. It'll grow back, But yeah, I don't know.
Riley really came in with the quip right there.
But we are right now like 24 hours away from the first football game of the year. You've got Cowboys and the Eagles, and then we're just a few days away from Bengals Browns, which I don't know why it feels like it's close but yet still far away. I don't know why. Am I alone?
Honestly,
in that,
I don't know. Maybe this summer's just flown by for me more than other summers, because I feel like every in years past, I'm like, man, I cannot wait for football to get here. I'm just like, I'm literally like counting down the days from like probably the end of the draft, right? And I don't know what happened this year. I don't know if I had more stuff going on in the middle of the summer to occupy myself. I don't know that I get to go on with you and some of the boys on Xbox almost every night, and it just takes up my evening. That made the time go by pretty fast, but whatever it was, football has really snuck around. It has snuck around pretty quickly on me this year. It's kind of I still feel like it's freaking June at this point. It's crazy that we got 4 days? We got 4 days until real Bengals football action.
Can't wait. I can't wait.
I feel like I'd be more excited for it if we didn't have this exact week 1 matchup 2 years ago.
Yeah, I can see. And I think it probably would be a little bit more exciting, too, if it was a home game. I think it tapers it just a little bit because, we'd be planning what time are we going to get there, how's the weather going to look and everything. But since it is in Cleveland, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on in the show, obviously, it does take, I think, just a little bit of a damper on it. But listen, we get real football in a couple of days, and we don't have to now for the next however many months. We don't have to have a discussion, in the week of, now, what are we going to talk about on the show this week? Because we have topic ideas now. Hopefully we're really rolling topics until the schedule is released in the middle of May, because the Bengals are playing late into the postseason. We've got free agency, we've got draft, we've got schedule predictions, and we're really rolling for these next, 9 months or so. Now, will we be that lucky? Who knows? Riley says, I feel like we've had a divisional matchup every opener for 4 years now, except 2 out of the last 3. Well, I guess 2 out of the last
Patriots,
4.
Vikings, we had the Steelers in 22, Browns in 23. It's like every other year.
It's like a little the trend there. Houday, Mark, and Lisa, though, thanks for joining us here today. So on the show, we got a couple of news to hit. I have a couple of bold predictions for the 2025 season, and Mick is going to judge them. I got 4 of them. Mick is going to judge them on, I don't know how you want to judge it. I don't know if you want to say on a scale of like 1 to 5 how crazy it is, whether you buy it, whether you don't. we can talk about that. And then we're going to dive into the season, game by game. We're going to make our predictions right now. What's the Bengals record? And then I have a couple other questions I think that are important for us to ask. And then we'll dive into Bengals Browns as well.
Oh, yeah. Can we get into a 53-man roster results?
Yeah, that's kind of in the news.
Okay.
Into the news here, which is probably the first way to start. But I think the first 53-man addition that at least is worth mentioning is Dalton Risner is officially signed with the Bengals. We've talked about it. I mean, heck, we've been talking about it, since March?
Yeah. Now, did you have him on your 53-man when you did it or no?
No, when we did it, because he wasn't really an option, because I don't think any of us really thought he was going to make it. I honestly haven't gone back to our 53-mans and saw how accurate or not accurate we were. As far as surprises on the 53, I don't know that there were that many. Did you have any that stood out as far as a surprise cut or anything?
Not really a surprise, but I was wrong. Isaiah Williams is not on the team now. Mitchell Tinsley firmly won the job over. He didn't even finish at WKU, dude.
He's he was at the WKU game on Saturday. He's a hilltopper. He's a hilltopper for sure.
I'm just gonna forget you said that. Anyways, yeah. I mean, I think that he kind of won the job based off of pure receiving prowess over the past month or so. I still thought Isaiah Williams might get the job just because he has the special teams capabilities, the returning capabilities. It seems like they're comfortable with Jermaine Burton kind of being that backup kick returner, punt returner in case if Charlie Jones does go down at some point. So Mitchell Tinsley wasn't surprising, but that was definitely noteworthy. And I think that a lot of us probably thought that when the initial 53-man roster came out, there were only 8 offensive linemen on there, that a move was going to be made someplace, somewhere in free agency or with the roster cuts from other teams. And what do you know? We have potentially our new starting right guard in Dalton Risner. We don't know. We don't think he's going to start this week. I don't think he's going to start. Okay. Lucas Patrick's going to take over the starting role this week. But I think that that's going to be a good competition throughout the season between those two guys. I don't think they really felt comfortable with anybody else taking over that starting gig. And that's including Cody Ford.
Cody Ford has kind of slid into the swing tackle role as well. And I think they're really trying to set Cody Ford of, we're not going to have you literally play every position on the offense. We're instead going to try and make you just focused on tackle, and hopefully that helps you in the long run.
Yeah, and it really might. I mean, his position versatility, especially the guard position, because I think guards swing a little bit more than tackles do in terms of offensive scheme. Maybe that does set him up for more success with that swing tackle role.
Notable practice squad additions as well. And we're not going to talk about any practice squad additions that were on the roster, a couple of weeks ago. Because, I mean, sure, there were plenty of guys that they snuck through on there. But there were a few from outside that they brought on. Russ Yeast, who is a Kentucky native.
Safety, right?
Correct. His dad, Craig, played at UK and played for the Bengals in the 90s or early 2000s as well. He has nearly 1,000 career snaps, graded a 57 in 2023 with the Rams. That was really his only year that he started. For a practice squad safety, that's not bad. That's not awful by any stretch. So I think you've got something there, maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, he's a good practice squad scout team kind of guy to come in and play against the ones during the
and if he has to play a game, it's not, you're not throwing, I don't even know who would be. You're not throwing a Nick Scott out there at safety. What's even old Nick doing these days? Is he still in the league?
The Panthers still?
Is he? He might be.
No, he might have. I don't know where he's at. Let's see.
I think I saw him at Walmart over the weekend. Okay, so he's not a cashier at Walmart. Okay, he's not there anymore yet, at least. He might be. Mike Pennell was another signing. This is an interesting one for the Bengals. Nearly 3,000 career snaps over 11 years. Don't look him up yet because I have a trivia question for you on him. So if you're looking him up, don't do it. He was an undrafted free agent by the Packers in 2014. Do you know where Mike Pennell went to college?
I already saw it.
Oh, you jerk.
Sorry,
Jerk.
you put his name on, so I had to put his name in the PFF here and not and do my best.
There's no
BSing on
chance
this
you would
guy.
have known he went to Colorado State Pueblo, would you?
I don't think I would. Yeah, I don't think I would have guessed that one.
Say. Last year graded a 59 with the Chiefs. I think, you're getting a guy who has 3,000 snaps throughout his career on your practice squad as an interior defensive lineman. I think this is a good sneaky add to the practice squad.
Yeah, no, I think he is as well. I think it's a nice little insurance policy in case if McKinley Jackson or TJ Slayton go down. Actually, I think he's graded a little bit better than TJ Slayton. And this guy is a nose. He's a big boy, 6'4", he's 332 pounds. So he's got a lot of mass to him. And I think run defense has been his specialty. He hasn't really been much of a pass rusher per se. He's really graded in the 50s all throughout his career in the pass rush department, but in the run defense department, you see him grading in the mid 60s for most of it. So I'm pretty happy with this addition. I think we'll definitely see some snaps out of him at some point this year.
Javon Foster was the other one that they added, a 4th round pick by the Jags out of Missouri last year.
Tackle,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and graded over an 80 in his last 3 seasons at Missouri. In each of those 3, had about 900 snaps per year there. If you're grading in the 80s as a left tackle in the SEC, there might be something there. This could be another sneaky good addition into the Bengals offensive line room. Maybe a change of scenery is exactly what he needed, because clearly he did something right in college, and maybe Scott Peters is the guy that can unleash that as maybe a future swing tackle.
Yeah. I'm surprised that the Jaguars kind of gave up on him after one season. That might be the only cause for alarm, is that this guy has only had 1 year in the league and your team's already moving on from you.
The thought is, okay, new coaching staff doesn't fit into Liam Cohen's scheme. Maybe that's my hope, is as to what it was.
And there's a good chance that that is the case, because you did, like you said, you did have that turnover in the coaching department from 2024 into 2025, and there's a good chance that is the case. And another offensive line member added, pretty much. I mean, that'll pretty much bring you to 10 if he ends up getting elevated at some point, which I think that there's a good chance he will. I mean, really, Jalen Rivers and Javon Foster are going to be battling on the left side of that offensive line, you think?
Bengals set their captains as well. Trey Hendrickson, BJ Hill, Ted Karras, Orlando Brown Jr., Jamar Chase, Logan Wilson, and Joe Burrow. I know you're surprised at Burrow being a captain, but is there anybody else I don't think anybody on this really surprises you, does it?
No, this is like the least surprising captain room I think that they could have
Trey
put
Hendrickson,
together.
First ever time as a captain, though. Is that noteworthy?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I mean, I know that he had, the media barrage against the front office and whatnot, but the fact that he still kind of came around the organization throughout the summer, throughout training camp before a deal got reworked, I think speaks volumes to his leadership. The fact that he was willing to help out guys like Myles Murphy and Shamar Stewart during training camp, despite not necessarily getting what you need from the front office here, or not getting paid what you think you're worth, and holding in, essentially, I think does speak volumes to the leadership that he has. I'm glad he got the captain role.
I agree. And then you mentioned it briefly as well. Lucas Patrick will start at right guard versus the Browns. I'm sure we'll come back to that here in just a few minutes when we talk about the Browns game as a whole. Okay. I have here, Mick, a list of 4 Bengals bold predictions. And feel free, if you're watching with us live here today, let me know if I'm crazy or so on. How do you want to do this? Do you want to give it a rating of 1 to 5, or how do you want to rate my bold predictions here? How do you want to? You're 5 being it's crazy, 1 being you can absolutely see this happening. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, number 1. And again, these are supposed to be bold, supposed to be a little outlandish, maybe. Number 1 is Lisa's is 17-0. Do you want to rate Lisa? You're not going to call her a 5.
It's a 4.9.
Oh, Nick. Mix the Debbie Downer already. Okay, my number
No
one.
17-0 season. All right.
Chase Brown will have more fantasy points at the end of the year than Jamar Chase.
Oh. 3.
There's my bold prediction there, number one. It's
That's a
bold,
good prediction, actually.
but I don't think it's crazy.
Yeah, just because Jamar Chase is also, sharing targets with another, quote unquote, number one wide receiver, right? I think a lot of Jamar's production came from the fact that the defense was bad and they had to score a lot of points. They had to air the ball out down the field. T was out for 5 to 6 games last year, which just only increased Jamar's target share.
Jermaine Burton did nothing.
Andre Yoshavash, as much of a fan favorite as he is, wasn't great last year. So really, his only target share last year was Mike Gesicki and Chase Brown at points. So, but Chase Brown, there's nobody behind him on that depth chart that's going to get meaningful running back snaps, unless if Chase Brown, God forbid, is injured at some point this year.
Okay, so you're giving that one a 3. Next up, I'm doubling down on last year. Because you remember you had the Jermaine Burton will be in the Rookie of the Year candidate, and that was freezing cold takes. I don't know if you remember what mine was last year that was a freezing cold take, and it was that Cam Taylor-Britt, I think, would be the first Bengals since Reggie Nelson have at least 8 interceptions, I think was mine. So I'm not going quite to that realm, but I'm going to say that Cam Taylor-Britt will play well enough the Bengals will be forced to extend him and pay him as a mid to top level corner in the offseason.
Yeah, I'll give that a 2. I think that we've seen some bad play out of Cam Taylor-Britt last year, but for the most part, throughout the past 3 years that he's played in his career so far, he has been a fairly solid quarterback, a fairly solid outside corner. I remember we saw top end play from him towards the end of the 2023 season and its various points during 2022. So yeah, I think that's definitely within the realm of possibility.
Okay, my next one, Evan McPherson. It's an Evan McPherson one. He will hit at least 2 game-winning kicks this season.
That's a 1. He's due for a bounce back this year. I think. So
you're buying in that it's a bounce back.
Yeah, no, he looked really good during the preseason. Hopefully, we have our starting 3 at the special teams positions for a very long time now with what's his name, William Wagner.
Sorry, Cal.
Yeah, your jersey curse may actually be real.
It is. Why do you think I don't own a Joe Burrow jersey? I can't bring it to myself. I can't do it to him. I cannot do it. So yeah, my poor Cal Adamitis jersey will now turn into an absolute relic of, in 10 years, that's going to be a great, oh, I remember that guy. Cal Adamitis, the Bengals long snapper. My last one, and this might just be me because I think it should happen, and 2, I want it to happen. There's like a lot of reasons into this. Week 14. The Bengals are scheduled to host the Ravens at 1:00. That game will get flexed, and it will replace the Dolphins Steelers on Monday Night Football in Week 14. There you go. That's my bold prediction. The Bengals Ravens in Cincinnati, Week 14, will replace Dolphins Steelers on Monday Night Football. I thought about Sunday Night Football, but that night it is Cowboys Vikings. They're not taking the Cowboys off Sunday Night Football. So that's why I'm going to say Monday night.
I'm going to give that a 4 just because I'm not sure how many scheduled primetime games the Ravens already have. They're probably maxed out at this point.
But you can be flexed into an extra one.
You can be flexed into an extra one. But who's to say it's the Bengals game, right? There's probably other matchups in here that might be worth that as well. You have the Texans matchup in Week 5. That might be a little early into the season for that to really happen.
Too early. It can't be until Week 10, I think, is when I was looking at that earlier, that you can flex.
Yeah, and then that Packers game late in the season also may be one of those flex opportunities. I just don't know if we're going to have 2 division games with the Ravens and the Bengals both be in prime time.
That's why it's a bold prediction. That's why it's a bold one. Riley says Dylan Fairchild will be the best rookie offensive lineman. I'm assuming he's meaning best rookie offensive lineman out of all of them.
Out of all of them in the draft class?
I'm assuming that's it, because if it's the best out of the Bengals offensive linemen, I'm going to say Riley. That's a 0 because that's not even remotely a hot take. He should be the best one. He was the highest drafted on the Bengals. Lisa's agreeing with me. She's going to give it a 1. She's buying into it. Plus, it's about damn time the Ravens come to Cincinnati and play at night.
Yeah, it's about time. You're right. It hasn't happened since 2018. So
17. Or no, I guess it was
2018.
18.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Week
18.
2.
Yeah, week 2. Yep. On Thursday night, wasn't it?
Yes. That was the
Thursday.
AJ Green 4 touchdowns in the first half game.
Yeah, Riley in the draft class. So Riley's saying Dylan Fairchild will be the best rookie offensive lineman in this draft class. How are you rating that? That's probably a 4.
3 to a 4 there. I
like
think
Will Campbell.
I think Dylan Fairchild's going to be really good, but you have people like Armand Membu, Will Campbell.
If you're saying guard, maybe you could convince me there. The best guard.
Yeah.
I think that could be convinced. I know you didn't prepare for one, but do you have a bold prediction that we can grade you on? One that you just thought of? You don't have one off the top of your head? If you think of one, maybe you can drop it as it comes in there. Okay, so my bold takes there for the Bengals 2025 season.
I'll come up with one.
Okay.
Shamar Stewart will exceed in his rookie year his entire sack total of his collegiate career.
So he'll have more than 4?
Yeah, he'll have more than 4 sacks this year.
I hope you're right. I'd say that's a 2. I'm going to buy into it. I think it'll happen. I think we'll get closer to that. I'm going to buy into the hype that Shamar Stewart will actually do something in the NFL. Okay, let's go game by game here in this Bengals 2025 season, and let's go ahead and make our predictions, okay? We will come back to the Browns game.
Lisa might want to just turn off the podcast.
No. Riley says, bold prediction, there will be multiple games that Mick cries about because it's too cold. That's a negative number. That's a guarantee, Riley. A guarantee that Mick will complain about the cold.
I won't cry about it. I'm already stocked up here.
Yeah, you got your ski goggles and everything. All right, Lisa's going to give you a 1 for yours. She's also buying into the Shamar Stewart love. Okay. Game by game, we'll come back to the Browns game at the end of the podcast when we make our pick, okay? Now, this is not how we're picking every week, so we can change this. So we'll come back to the Browns. Open in orange. Home against the Jaguars week 2, Mick. Win or loss for the Bengals?
Liam Cohen, second game coaching. Open in orange. We want to get off the fast starts. I do like the Jaguars roster this year more than I have in previous years. I think that they've shored up on the defense a little bit, added another offensive weapon in Travis Hunter. I'm still going to give the win to the Bengals here. I think it's going to be pretty close, but I'll give them a win here.
This is the epitome of a team the Bengals are getting at the perfect time.
Yeah.
This is probably not a team they wanted to play week 15. Now, you could talk into you're getting a warm weather team coming up and playing in the cold in December, which there are some stats in that might be advantageous. But as far as just Travis Hunter still kind of figuring things out, Liam Cohen still figuring some things out as a head coach, I like where this is, and I'm going to agree with you. The Bengals, they get off the schneid, because if they lose this, then I think we ban open and orange from ever happening again. Considering that in 2 years you lose to the Patriots and the Jags, I don't think it's ever allowed again. Week 3 at the Vikings.
I'm going with the loss.
This is my I think this is a win. And part of this is that I don't buy into JJ McCarthy. I know you do. I don't. I'm not a buyer into the JJ McCarthy hype train. So because of that, I think they're going to be taking a step back. If Jordan Addison was playing, I might flip it. But I think because of that loss for the Vikings in this game, I'm going to take the Bengals. It's close, though. In fact, this is one of the game-winning field goals for Evan McPherson. There you go. There you go. I'm going to double down on my bold prediction there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing the Bengals have in their favor is that Jordan Addison will not be playing. It'll be the third game of his 3-game suspension. but I still am. I think the Coach Flores coach defense, especially early on the season, is a very big juggernaut to face. So I think that the offense might have to deal with some headaches on that end. I am a JJ McCarthy believer. I think he's going to be a good quarterback in this league. Still have to deal with players like Justin Jefferson. Adam Thielen's back. You have a good running back tandem in Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason. They have one of the better offensive lines in the league. So yeah, I'm gonna give a win to the Vikings there.
Week 4. So right now you have, and again, we're coming back to the Browns. So you have 1-1. I have 2-0. At least through those 2 weeks, because we'll come back to the Browns game a little bit later on. Week 4, the Bengals on Monday Night Football go to the Broncos. Something tells me we're going to be in agreement on this one.
I'm going with the win here.
Oh, really? I'm going to say a loss.
Yeah, I'm going with the win. I think if there's a regression candidate for how well that they played last year, I think the Broncos are a regression.
So you're not buying into Broncos hype?
No, I'm not buying into Broncos hype. I still think that their offense has a lot of work to be done on it. I think that they exceeded expectations last year. Bo Nix is a good quarterback, but I don't think I think he's going to be Andy Dalton. You know, he's going to be pretty average. You know, good enough to start. You know, pretty middle of the league. They do have a good offensive line. The receiving core isn't very great. It isn't great. You got Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims, Pat Bryant. Who's the other guy? Troy Franklin, maybe. That receiving core doesn't. That receiving core doesn't scare me.
What's his name? The tight end from the Jags.
They did get Evan Ingram.
They did. Thank you.
They did get Evan Ingram, and
that doesn't
defense
scare you?
Not really. No, I think the Bengals are in prime position to play against this team. I think that they're going to win this game. And let's not forget. I mean, they dealt with this offense late in the year last year when the Bengals secondary was very much depleted. You have a full, healthy secondary, hopefully, towards that point in the year, that could spell trouble for that Broncos offense. So I'll give the Bengals the win on Monday Night Football in Denver.
Okay, I like it. I like your optimism. There. I'm going to say a loss. So we're both at 2-1 through that. The Lions at home, which is the Stripe the Jungle game, correct? It is Stripe the Jungle against the Lions.
Yes.
Bengals haven't lost a Stripe the Jungle game, Mick, and they're not going to start now. Listen, we're talking about regression candidates. The Lions are an obvious one. You lose both of your coordinators. Are they the Eagles from a couple of years ago where they don't really know what to do? So because of that, I'm going to take the Bengals in this one. And plus, Jared Goff doesn't ever play outside.
I will be doing the same thing. I'm going to be taking the Bengals in this game primarily because, like you said, both coordinators are gone now. Ben Johnson moved to Chicago. Aaron Glenn is with the Jets. There's going to be some serious road bumps for this Lions team, and I think the Bengals are one of them.
Plus, Jared Goff's a dad now. You know, does that play a factor in? We saw what happened to Evan McPherson when he became a dad.
We did.
Forgot how to do his job. So maybe we can hope that that's what happens to Jared Goff, at least in that week. Week 6, the Bengals travel to Green Bay to take on the Packers late window. So it'll be a 4:25 game on CBS. So probably you're going to get Nance and Romo at Lambeau. And Nance and Romo call what, Mick? A Bengals win or a loss?
This is going to be a loss. This Packers team is sneaky good. They just got the second best defensive player in football, or at least the third. They got the second best edge rusher in football. I think their
best player not named Myles Garrett.
Yes. The Bengals run defense is still a little bit of a question mark going into the season. Josh Jacobs absolutely ran over teams last year. Had a really, really, really good 2024 season. They've got a decent receiving core. No alpha male number one receivers, but they're all like fairly solid. And also on top of that, they are an extremely well-coached football team, helmed by Matt LaFleur. So I'm going to give a loss to the Bengals here. So that puts us at what? 3-2.
And I agree. For pretty much the same reasons. Plus, that's a tough place to play at Lambeau. late window. I'd almost feel better if it was a 1 o'clock game. Just because, that late there's just that extra level of juice, that extra 3 hours to drink gets fans a little bit more excited. We know that at Paycor. It just means a little bit more for those.
They're going to feel that fall crisp air a little bit earlier in Green Bay than we would here. It's that also brings a little bit of excitement.
That is true. Next game, quick turnaround. Thursday night football. We white out the jungle, taking on the city near West Virginia at home. Who you got?
Yeah, I'll give this one to the Bengals.
Yeah, home teams in Thursday night divisional games. The record in the AFC North is absurd. Absurd. I remember I had the stat last year. I think there's something like 12 out of the last 14 or 12 out of the last 15 for it. I think that continues, and I agree. I think the Bengals win that game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. I think it's probably going to be a very defensive game.
17-13 or
like 17-14 or like a 20-17. It's not going to be a pretty game, especially it's Thursday night AFC North football, but we're going to catch that good end of variance where we're the home team and it's a Thursday night football game and it's AFC North football. The Bengals are taking this one.
Next one. So we're both in agreement at 4-2 right now. Next one is the 3-game homestand continues as the Bengals take on the Jets. Sauce makes his return to Cincinnati.
This is tough.
See, I don't know how bold this is. Every year for the last couple of years, the Bengals have routed someone at home. This is it this year. I think they beat the snot out of the Jets.
They're running it back to 2012 where they were up like 41-0 against the
I don't
Jets.
know that we're going to get that wild, but I think this is a 31-14 win for the Bengals or something. Like I think it's a pretty good beatdown. I'm going to take the Bengals in that one.
I mean, this offense is not scary at all.
No.
I mean, their offensive line's gotten a little bit better.
I mean, they got rid of their one receiver worth a damn. They got rid of him.
Well, one of the two wide receivers that are worth anything is gone.
Malachi Corley, he's gone.
Oh, geez. Is he really gone?
Yeah, they released him. He's with the Browns now, actually, I think.
Oh.
I think that's right. Or did I just make that up? It wouldn't be the first time I've made something up on this podcast, Mick. Yes, he's with the Browns now.
Yeah. I think this one's going to be pretty close. I think that Jets defense is still really good. I'm excited to see what Aaron Glenn's going to do in terms of tapping into that unit, because I think that after Robert Saleh left last year, this unit just fell apart. They didn't care anymore. And you saw badly graded seasons, or their worst graded seasons of their careers, out of Sauce Gardner, out of Quincy Williams, who was an all-pro, I believe, the season before. So I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a very Steelers-esque game. I'm going to give this one a win for the Bengals, but it's going to be of the same ilk as that Steelers game the week before.
Okay, so we're both in 5-2, right? 5-2 going into that. I think we'd all be feeling pretty good if that's what it was, especially with Ben Johnson and the Bears coming in to finish off the homestand as the Bengals on the first Sunday in November take on the Bears. I'll start with this one. I think we're going to get an homage to Cedric Benson, and Chase Brown's going to have Cedric Benson in that day. Didn't he have 6 touchdowns or something crazy in 2009, I think, wasn't it? At home or 20, I think it was 2009, where Benson had a just massive game. Chase Brown's going to have a massive day that day against the Bears, and the Bengals win that game. High scoring, though. I think we're going to see some offense that night.
I'm going to go with the high scoring game, but I'm going to take a loss here.
Boo.
I'm buying into the Ben Johnson hype. The fact that the thought of Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams joining forces on one team doesn't seem like it's going to be fair. They added another good wide receiver in Luther Burden to kind of man that slot role. So you've got a 3-headed monster at receiver. You've got a good 2 tight end set. You have so many weapons, and I don't know if our secondary is going to be able to handle it. I just don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a win. I think it's going to be high-scoring game. It's going to be fun to watch. Much like that Texans game a couple years ago that you and I went to. I think that'd be a good comparison.
Are they going to get Noah Brown that's going to come out again and go for 250 or something?
God, yeah, the Bears are going to trade for Noah Brown.
Just for that one game.
Going to have the Noah Brown game.
Mark's going to be there for the Bears game. Good to know that that's the one he's coming to, Lisa.
Hell
Looking forward to that. Okay, the bye week. Did the Bengals win the bye week?
Yeah.
I'm going to call it a tie. Tie. Out of the bye week again. Isn't this the third straight year the Bengals? No, or maybe it's not the third straight year. Bengals at Steelers out of the bye week. Is it?
Not Bengal at Steelers.
Bengals Steelers. Bengals Steelers.
It's always been at home, I think, the past couple of years.
Do the Bengals go to Pittsburgh and win?
I don't think so for this one. I think I'm going to chalk that up as a loss. I think I don't know. I just it's tough playing there. It's tough playing there. They're a good defense.
I agree. I think it'll be a rock fight. One of those that Burrow has one game every year where he's not himself. And I think that'll be the game that it just something's a little off. Maybe that's a game T misses or Jamar misses with an injury. So I'm going to agree with you there and say that the Bengals lose that game. So I have the Bengals now with 3 losses. You have them with 4 losses.
Yes.
Probably the easiest way to go about this. They come back home the Sunday before Thanksgiving, and they take on the Patriots at home.
See, you talk about there's going to be a game this season where the Bengals are just going to absolutely trounce their opponent and win by 30-plus points, and it better be this game. There should be such a bad taste out of their mouths.
Revenge.
It's not even revenge. It's just what's the word I'm looking for? Reconciling. You're reconciling what you did last year in the home opening dud, the open and orange dud last year against the Patriots.
I think it was even worse than a dud.
It was terrible.
I don't know what the word is.
It was
embarrassment.
Debacle.
That's I like that one.
Shit show. Yeah, it was a shit show.
Dang, we were about to have an episode without an explicit rating. We made it 37 minutes.
We did.
Good job. You at least made it this long. But yeah, I agree. This is going to be a win.
I'm not buying into the Drake May hype either. I
don't buy into the Caleb Williams hype.
Yeah, I'll buy into the Caleb Williams hype before the Drake May hype. But this offense is still, they're still a work in progress. There's not too much talent at the skill positions. Travion Henderson's going to be interesting to see in this game. You got the ghost of Stephon Diggs. Nobody trusts their sisters around him.
Houday Lorian.
Thanks
for watching.
Do you even know what that? Do you even know what that's a reference to?
It's a Star Wars reference.
Okay. I didn't think you were a Star Wars guy.
I'm not. I'm not a Star Wars guy, but I can at least use context clues there.
Okay.
I'm not a complete idiot. Okay, so we both have wins there. The next one, this stretch right here, brutal.
Yeah, it's not great.
And it starts off on Thanksgiving night at the Baltimore Ravens because the Bengals are only allowed to play there on prime road games. Okay, I'm not going to rant. Not going to do it. I've done it enough. They can only play the Ravens at there on night games.
I wonder what result you're going to give this.
I'm going to let you go first.
There's no way we're winning this game. There's just no way. It's Thursday night. It's at Baltimore. We don't do it. We haven't done it the past couple of years.
So you know what that says to me, Mick?
You're going to pick them?
They're freaking due. They're due. Bengals win that game. I'm going to say it. They win that game.
Listen, optimism.
Last year, they should have beaten them. They should have. And if Burrow wouldn't have gotten hurt the year before, I think they'd have probably beaten them there too. If they don't call a freaking shovel pass to Stanley Morgan the year before, they probably win that game too. So they're shooting themselves in the foot all of these years. God forbid it's got to come our way once. So I'm going to say the Bengals win there. I'm trying to go to that game. That would be a fun one to be at. That would be a really
good one to be at. it were Thanksgiving, if it were Thursday night in November, I might actually be trying to go to that.
But we have to be good family men, don't we?
We do.
Mm.
We do.
So you're saying a loss. I'm saying a win.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I have the Bengals at 3 losses. You have them now at 5, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next up, at Buffalo. At Buffalo. Late Sunday afternoon in December. Gonna be cold. Maybe a little snow in the air. Bengals have owned the Bills over these last couple of seasons when they've played. Burrow's played really well each time they've gone against him. Do they win that one?
Yes, I think that the trend continues. The Bengals have played really well against the Bills the 2 times. Well, the 1 and 1/4 times that they've played the Bills.
There's another time, playoffs.
No, that was the 1.
Well, then they played also 2 years ago the Stripe the Jungle game.
Ah, yes. Okay. Yep. 2 and 1/4 times that they've played. Forgot about that game. That was a great game.
And they would not have lost the DeMar Hamlin game. I don't
think they would have either. I think that would they'd be 3-0. So I think that I do think the Bengals are going to continue this trend against the Bills. And also it's December football, and when do the Bengals play their best football? In the month of December. So just to give you a little preview of what I've got on my end, I think you're going to be happy with it.
Say what you want about Zach Taylor. His teams in December are incredible. They might be crap in September, but they're really good in December. Now, usually since they're crap in September, they're too far out of it to come back. We've seen that. But they're usually playing their best ball at the end of the year. I was thinking a loss, but I think you've talked me into it. I'm going to say a win. Why not? We're homers. I'm going to say they win that game. Next one. I say this game's going to be moved to Monday Night Football against the Ravens.
I'm going to say this gets flexed. This will get flexed to a 4:25 game.
So we're saying it can't be a 1 o'clock game against the Ravens. I'm going to say they lose this one. They're going to split the Ravens this year. I feel confident in that. They're going to split.
Yeah. And that's why I'm picking a win here.
So you have the away team. I have the away team winning. You have the home team winning in both of these games. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're at 5 losses. I'm at 4. So that makes sense. Next game, we've only got 3 left. At the Miami Dolphins on Sunday Night Football. I'm going to say a win.
I'm going to go with the win as well.
Because
I think the Mike McDaniel teams and Zach Taylor teams are yin and yang of each other. I think that the Dolphins usually start out hot as long as everybody's healthy. The Dolphins usually start out hot. They're one of the top teams in the league through the first 8 weeks of the season. And not even if Tua gets hurt, I think that offense just ends up getting figured out at some point. And Mike McDaniel doesn't find a way to adjust his offense later in the season. Also, it gets cold. These guys in Miami are used to warm weather. Now, this is a home game in Miami, so it doesn't really necessarily matter for this game in particular. But I think you're going to see your Miami team fizzle out a little bit towards the end of the year. Bengals are going to be coming on strong like they do every year under the Joe Burrow, Zach Taylor regime. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a solid win over the Dolphins. Maybe not a 30-plus point win, but I think an over 2 score win.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Okay. To me, this is a game maybe like maybe not comeback. Well, yes. No, I'm trying to think if there was a comparison that I can think of as, I'm thinking maybe a 7 to 10 point win, but one of those where it's never really in doubt.
Yeah, like the Bills game a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's a good example. That's a good example.
That's a good
example. Yeah. They don't blow them out, but it's never really in doubt. You're not to the point where you can put your feet up and relax, but that bead of sweat isn't really coming either. You're in that weird, like, it's just going to be okay. Next up, and I'm going to put you on the spot too. Do the Bengals play another Saturday game in this slot against the Arizona Cardinals? First off, is it Saturday or is it Sunday?
I don't think they will. I think it's a Sunday. I think it's a Sunday game.
1 o'clock.
I think, I just don't think I'm not very bullish on the Cardinals this year. I don't think that I just don't.
I'm going to say a win here.
I like the way their roster's heading. Like, I think that they've done a good job of trying to rebuild that defense. I just think that they're not there yet, which sucks for Jonathan Gannon because I think he's a good enough coach to stay in this league. But that's probably this season's gonna be the axe for him, unfortunately.
So you're going to say a win for this?
Yeah,
but aren't you just a little bit scared about right tackle Jonah Williams on that team, or Akeem
he actually
Davis
didn't do too bad last year. He actually graded pretty well.
What about ADG on that defense?
Yeah, I'm not very scared of ADG. He's starting. He's the starting linebacker for him this year.
He is. They do have him as a starting linebacker. Okay. And then the final game is week 18 against the Browns. These games are always the hardest to predict because you really don't know what's going to be happening. Yeah. I'm going to say a win because they're in a hunt for something that day.
Yes. I'm going to go with the win as well. 5-game win streak to end the season. Like you said, they're in a hunt. If I didn't think that the Ravens were going to be that good this year, I'd say, oh, well, maybe they'll rest their starters and they won't win this game because, they're just playing with their backups and things like that. But I think that they're playing for playoff position. They're probably playing for the division in this game. I'm going to give a win to the Bengals here.
Okay. So you have them at 5 losses. I have them at 4. Again, we have not predicted the Browns. I don't really like this. I've thought about this. I was like, oh, great. Might be a little too optimistic, but hey, whatever. That's what we're here for on this. Okay. I've got a couple of quick questions for you before we jump into Bengals Browns on Sunday and we make the prediction for that game. And we've talked about this a lot over the summer, but let's just go ranking wise. Pick what ranking you want. Points, PFF rating. Where does this Bengals defense need to be for them to have a legitimate chance to win the Super Bowl?
I know people say, oh, the defense needs to be mid, like around 16 or so. I'm going to say it needs to be at least a top 12 defense for them to do that. I mean, hell, the year that they won, let's see what their PFF rank was last year, or not last year, but the Super Bowl year in 2021, which may be a better indicator of where they need to be. But my initial hunch is a top 12 defense.
But isn't the offense better now than it was in 2021?
I would say so. Yeah. So they were the 16th ranked defense in 2021 in the 8th ranked offense.
If they're the 16th ranked defense this year, can they win the Super Bowl?
No. And they didn't win the Super Bowl in 2021 when they had the
we know, Mr. Negativity over there. God,
I think it needs to be at least the top 12 defense.
Let's at least look at who the hell they had starting on the offensive line that game.
Oh yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. Well, also you got to remember that defense was a sieve until OBJ got carted off the field.
Yes,
they were. So, I mean, the Rams had too much firepower on that offense. And then half of that firepower went away because OBJ got carted off. And before that, OBJ was looking like prime OBJ. Like it's so I just don't. Yeah, I think that they need to be slightly better than 16th on defense. Whether they can get there, I mean, we'll wait to see. There's a lot of question marks right now. Do we have an answer at nose tackle? Are we going to get that DJ Reader level of production at nose tackle this year from either McKinley Jackson, TJ Slayton, or hell, even Mike Pennell at this point? Are you going to see better? Huh?
Howard Cross? He's still there? No love for Howard Cross?
He's not a nose tackle, though. He's a 3-tech.
Yeah, I mean, he at least has some nose tech versatility, doesn't he?
He has a little bit of versatility, but he doesn't have the size that you need in a good NFL nose tackle. Elite level pessimist. I just predicted us to go 11-6. That's over the over-under.
Oh, he's spoiling how he's going to pick the Browns game. Oh, no.
Oh, shit. Yeah. You might want to tee us off, Lisa. You might want to get out of here.
Mick, my goodness. Okay. Who is the most important player on this team that's not Joe Burrow, Jamar? We need that guy that is so important that isn't getting the credit for being so important.
I'm going to go with McKinley Jackson for this, or
Okay.
or TJ Slayton. I think
Okay.
McKinley Jackson's better than TJ Slayton. I think that he's going to prove that this year. But you need this. We haven't seen great defensive play, or really even remotely good defensive play out of this team since DJ Reader left. And I stand by this. I will stand by this every day until I get a good nose tackle or a good 3-tack again. Is that DJ Reader was the most important part of our defense when we had him. I mean, he was a game wrecker. He stopped the run completely. And his pass rush was severely underrated. Like he was very good in that department. His pass rush win rate was towards tops of the leagues amongst nose tackles. So if you can find a way to get McKinley Jackson to tap into that, that solves a lot of problems on the defense. It makes it a lot harder. I think it's a lot harder for quarterbacks to deal with pressure up the middle than it is for them to deal with pressure on the sides, even though Trey Hendrickson's been a beast for the past 4 years for us.
Lisa says Chris Jenkins. You buy into that?
I like
that answer.
It's of the same vein there. Like, you need a good interior defensive lineman to really spoil games for you. So whether it's Chris Jenkins or McKinley Jackson, TJ Slayton, I don't think it's going to be BJ Hill, even though I think BJ Hill is a solid defensive tackle and he's definitely should be starting on this team. It's got to be somebody from that interior defensive line for sure.
I'm gonna step back on the defense. I was thinking about making it Evan McPherson of being the most important player on this team, because you look back, they have 2022 Evan McPherson on last year's team. They win a couple of more of those games and they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say it's Jordan Battle is the most important player on this defense of the Bengals this year.
Yeah.
Is just because
I agree with that.
They need something out of that. We've talked about, since Von Bell left the first time, they haven't had that position filled. They tried with Nick Scott. Last year they tried with Von Bell again. It hasn't worked. They need somebody in that dropping down in the box safety to help out with the run defense that way as well. And my hope is that Jordan Battle, he looked atrocious in that game against the Commanders. So I'm just hoping that he comes in, because if he plays the way that he did his rookie season, where he was, correct me if I'm wrong, he was the highest graded PFF rookie or something like that, wasn't it?
He was a top 10 safety on defense. He was a top 10 safety in his rookie year, PFF grading wise. So,
and if he does that, this defense has a chance to take a huge step forward.
Yeah, they do. I would agree with that.
Okay, let's jump into Bengals Browns on Sunday. We get to talk about a game. How exciting is that? I'm excited about this. It'll be at 1:00 on Fox. Kevin Kugler and Daryl Johnston will be on the call. For one, why is this game on Fox? I hate that.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Yeah, we're an AFC team. Stop putting us on Fox. I hate that. I do. I just hate that. Billy says Bengals sweep the division. Only possible loss is if one of the Baltimore games. They also sweep the non-division schedule, except for possible loss to either Green Bay or Detroit. I like Billy's optimism there. Adrian Hill will be the referee on Sunday. Feels good for the Bengals. 7-3-1 with Adrian Hill as a referee. The games that he has been the head ref for: Browns home in 2019, which they won that game, one of the 2 wins that season. Eagles in 2020, which was a tie. Steelers on the road in 2020. You had the Vikings home opener a couple of years ago. At the Broncos in 2021. Shout out to Khalid Kareem for that game.
Yes, that was the Khalid Kareem game.
It was. Bucks that next year in 2022, the comeback. Seahawks home in 2023. Ravens on the road 2023. We don't need to talk about that game. That was a bad night. And then last year, the Panthers and the Broncos games. So some good games in there, and then a couple that we really want to forget. But hey, 7-3-1 with Adrian Hill. I'll take that. The injury report. You ready for this? The Bengals injury report is
nothing. Hey.
0.
They had a good camp. Now
they do have 2 players on IR, but as far as on the 53 man, and I am hammering right now, if you've got wood in front of you, Mick, start knocking on it, that they don't have any injuries as of right now. And really for the Browns, they don't have any that much either. Mike Hall did not practice today for the Browns, and they had 5 players who were limited. And to me, limited on Wednesday means more than likely you're playing on Sunday. So I didn't even write them down to do that. So those are the injury reports for that, which means you're going to have 2 pretty healthy teams. Let's talk Bengals offense against this Browns defense. This is where this game is going to be won or lost. Because, I mean, you look, the Browns defensive line, they have Myles Garrett, and they add arguably the best defensive player in this draft class in Mason Graham. You could make an argument that he was the best defensive player in this draft class. And what did you just talk about and go on a little rant about the most important part of a defense is the interior pass rush? Well, you're adding to that for the Browns.
Just the pass rush, you know.
Yeah, but interior specifically is what you were talking about, and you're adding to that with Mason Graham. That is a little bit of a worry for me, at least on Sunday.
Yes, Mason Graham was my favorite player in this past draft. And the fact that the Browns got him at pick number 5, they even traded down and got an extra draft pick to go get him, hurt a little bit more when watching that transpire back in April. But yeah, interior pass rush is huge. You go and get the best 3 tech in this draft class in Mason Graham to pair him up with Myles Garrett on this defensive line. And man, Dylan Fairchild's going to have a pretty big test coming in on Sunday. So you have those 2. You have Malik Collins as well, who's been a long time defensive tackle in the league. Hasn't been particularly great, but he's been solid at times, but he's towards the end of his career. And then you also have Alex Wright. I don't really have many notes on him, so he's not really a huge issue at the edge rusher position right now. But those 2, Myles Garrett and Mason Graham, should be enough of an area of concern.
And then you drop back to the linebackers. They add one of my favorite defensive players in the class, somebody we talked a lot about in draft season, and Carson Schweissinger of UCLA.
Yep. He's had a really good camp too.
We talked about him at length of being a guy that we felt like the Bengals could target on day 2. Obviously, they did target a linebacker on day 2 because I think Schweissinger was already off the board. Didn't the Browns take him at 30, whatever it was, their pick? I think my memory's right with that.
Yeah, it was like the 33rd pick. I think it was the.
And then, you move further back and you've got a good corner duo. Denzel Ward has had his days against Burrow, and Newsome is a solid corner as well. I mean, this Browns defense is good. Like, that's what they're going to hang their hat on this year. They're going to win games good because of the defense.
Yes, yeah, and that's why I don't think they're going to be as bad of a team as people are panning them out to be, because they have these guys on defense. Now, the pass rush, I don't know how much scarier is it going to be compared to years past. You're pretty much replacing Zadarius Smith with Mason Graham. Maybe they don't play the same position on the defensive line, but you're trading pretty much the same production for each other in that sense. The quarterback duo is good. The safety duo is good. You have Ronnie Hickman Jr. Going into his 3rd season out of Ohio State. It's graded a 77 on defensive last year. Graded a 71 in his rookie year. So he might be having another year trending in that direction. And then you also have Grant Delpit out of LSU. He's in his 5th year. So he's consistently graded as a pretty decent safety, as a mid to top level guy. So it's a good defensive backfield. The pass rush may be a question mark, but when you have Myles Garrett on there, it makes it a little bit easier for everybody else to do their job.
I mean, that dude's incredible.
And this is going to be a good litmus test for this offense, for our offensive line. How are they going to handle these guys? This is kind of a new offensive line. You have 2 new guards here. There's no solidified spots amongst one of the guard positions. So, that one of them is in a position battle right now. You've got year 2 of Amarius Mims. You got Orlando Brown Jr. Hopefully he can bounce back from his injury that he had last year and go back to some top end tackle play. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good test for them for sure.
You switch sides, talk about the Bengals defense against this Browns offense. Old man Flacco is starting for the Browns. Jerome Ford will probably be getting the lion's share of carries at the running back position because Quinshon Judkins still technically by law is still a free agent because he's still not signed his deal. Obviously, he has same things. Apparently, Flacco is so old, he's the same age as Mark, Lisa says. That's
Well, Mark's a young guy.
yeah, he's not that old. Not that old. Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, and Jamari Thrash are your wide receivers. They do have Isaiah Bond. He was a guy I think we talked about a little bit during draft season of being somebody out of Texas that's just freaking fast. How much is he going to be into the offense this early on since he was only signed, 2.5 weeks ago? Right?
Yeah.
But then again, is he just going to have some plays of, okay, run straight, go as fast as you can?
Yeah, just run a 9 route, right?
Yeah, go.
So
and let Flacco throw it up to you.
Yeah, pretty, and that might be the game plan for him. But yeah, this receiving core isn't very intimidating at all. I mean, Jerry Jeudy's been a solid wide receiver. He'd be the wide receiver 2 or maybe even wide receiver 3 on a lot of teams in the league. But he's fairly solid. Cedric Tillman, outside guy, is graded not too great over the past couple of years. Honestly, for our defensive backfield and a lot of people being hurt and not getting to finish out last year, players like Dax Hill, DJ Turner, you had CTB go through ruts last year, even though he finished the season healthy. This is a good test for them, or is a good it's a good gauge to see how well they can play together. If they can go up against this level of competition and be fairly good, be fairly solid, you feel a little bit better about it. So I think that this will be good for them to face against this receiving unit here. Really, your only level of concern that you have amongst the pass catchers is David Njoku. Yeah.
And
I guess Jerry Jeudy a little bit, but not really.
They added Harold Fannin Jr., who is somebody I know we talked about during the draft.
And he's going to be incorporated quite a bit into this offense.
The dude, look up his stats at Bowling Green if you haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude.
They're crazy.
Ungodly stats. Literally, he was the Bowling Green offense last year. He pretty much did everything but drive the bus home for them.
I already did that too.
Actually. He may have. It was Maction. And then I also found it at least interesting that their backup left guard on their 2-deep. Do you know who it is? Without looking?
Backup left guard?
Yes. We talked about this guy a lot during free agency. During free agency.
Oh.
Tevin Jenkins.
Tevin Jenkins is their backup?
Yes. He is their backup left guard. He was a guy that I think both of us, when we were doing our projections for free agency, I think both of us projected the Bengals to sign him. Am I wrong? I know I did. Did you?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
And he is on their 2-deep. At least what I was just looking at before the show on the Browns website. He is their backup left guard right now. Again, does that mean anything? No.
You have Joel Bitonio and White. Why do they need to get Tevin Jenkins?
I don't know.
Have to do it?
I don't know. He could be a Bengal, but I don't know that the Bengals are really that interested. Okay. Special teams, I don't know that there's really that much for us to discuss with that. Evan McPherson, you're hoping he can bounce back for that. Okay. 1:00 on Fox. Adrian Hill, the ref. Bengals at the Browns. Mick, you have the Bengals right now at 11-5. And something tells me you're projecting a loss, so I'm going to make you go first.
This is going to be a gross game. I'm going to go Browns 20, Bengals 13. It's not indicative of how I think the season's going to go. I think the season's going to go pretty well. Going to finish 11-6.
I'm hitting you with one of these here. I'm hitting you with one of those for that.
But week 1 of 2023 didn't look great. Offensive line lost against the Jim Schwartz coach defense. Now, good news is Joe Burrow is healthy for this game, so that probably changes a little bit. But honestly, there were points last year where the Bengals played the Browns defense, and even though they won both of those games, I mean, it's not like the offense looked like a juggernaut against them, like they did at many other points throughout the season. So I think that Browns defense is still going to give headaches here. They got a better quarterback than they did at any points last year. You're not going up against DTR again. You're going up against Joe Flacco, who may be just a smidge better. So I don't think this is going to be a win for the Bengals. I think we're going to start out 0-1. But
and I just don't want to read social media that day, Mick. Why did we need to do that? Oh, I mean, that would make the Jaguars game the most important Bengals home game
in a while,
a long time,
in a very long time.
I have the exact opposite feeling, and I almost hate how confident I am. I'm going to say 24-10.
24-10.
24-10 Bengals win. I think that the whole we're going to get off to a fast start, I'm buying it. I'm buying into it. That, and Joe Flacco is 75 years old, Mick. He is so old that I think he's about to go into the nursing home. Like, he is ancient. I mean, when he made his NFL debut, we were borderline still in diapers. Not really, but like,
yeah.
It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
I mean, he's old. And if you're wanting a team that struggles pass rushing to go up against a guy that, listen, if Joe Flacco starts running the ball, we're going to have problems. But guess who's probably not going to be running the ball at all is Joe Flacco, meaning you're not going to have to worry about him breaking the pocket at all. So because of that, I think it's a good game for the Bengals pass rush to go up against first game. And because of that, I'm just not buying into it. The running back, I mean, Jerome Ford, does that scare you? No. We just talked about it. No one on that offense terrifies you at all.
No, I mean, not necessarily. I don't disagree with you. But I think the Browns defense is what scares me in this game. I don't think the Bengals defense is going to get off to as slow of a start as some are thinking. I think the Browns would be a good, get your feet warm contest for this defense who've gone through a little bit of change in this past offseason. But I think that Browns defense is what scares me more. You've got a good defensive back unit. You've got Myles Garrett and Mason Graham in the on the defensive line providing that pass rush. And it's a Jim Schwartz coach defense. It's one of the best coach defenses in the league. And they haven't had really any turnover on that defense except for a couple of guys.
Here's my prediction, too, that I'm going to add to it. They're going to get a pick six from Demetrius Knight.
I'm going to say Demetrius Knight gets 2 sacks. I'm going to go with that instead.
Okay. Listen, both would be good. So Demetrius Knight gets 2 sacks and the Bengals lose. Wow. Okay. So I guess that has me at 13-4. I don't love that for the Bengals. Don't love that at all.
Yeah, no, I had to regress back to the I had to regress back to the mean a little bit.
I don't love that. Who wins the Super Bowl?
You want to just end the show now?
You're not going to take Baltimore, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Niners this year. We're going San Fran City.
Okay. Is it Bengals 49ers in the Super Bowl?
No.
So you have the Bengals. We obviously both have the Bengals making the playoffs. Where does the season end?
I'll probably go divisional round. I mean, it really depends on where the Bengals are seated. If they're playing a home game, how long are they playing home games into there? Even though they've played pretty well on the road in the postseason. So, but if you go up against another, if they go up against the Chiefs, you go up against the Ravens in the postseason, there's going to be tough battles to go up against. Now, if they go to Buffalo and play Buffalo, then they're making it to the conference championship game. But
we've seen how Lamar plays though in the playoff.
He didn't lose the team. He didn't lose the team their game last year.
Yeah. Billy says one thing you're missing. As good as the Browns' defense has been, it rarely translated into wins. That's because their offense is anemic. in some
Yeah.
instances.
Last year they had Dorian Thompson-Robinson starting like a good chunk of their
Who
games. Really,
I
the
think
Dorian
is
Thompson-Robinson might have been the Bengals MVP in both of those games last year.
he is almost you back there at quarterback.
He is, except he's a little bit faster than me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's just a little bit faster. He doesn't have as good a pocket presence as I do. I can tell you that.
We've seen you throw,
And that speaks volumes because I have none.
and we saw you throw at our fantasy football boot camp or whatever we call it.
Yeah, I was going for broke at that. Okay, I was.
And
trying
so
to go
so
exactly
did I not
for
as
the
well? Did I not kick some butt in doing that?
You did good. You did
I
good.
was Joe Burrow. You were DTR of that.
I was Jameis. I was famous Jameis.
You did airmail it over the fence one of the times as well.
Yeah.
Which
DTR doesn't have an arm. But no.
okay.
Anyways, yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit different of a matchup than the past couple of years, just because you do have a better quarterback back there who actually still plays at a decently high level.
So do the Ravens become the first team ever to win the AFC North 3 straight years?
No.
Oh, so you're taking Browns to win the division.
Yeah. No, I'll go with us to win the division. I think
that 3 times thing is something, and I'm going to agree.
I think it is something. I think it's I think it means a deal. I don't think it's a hard feat to accomplish. And then nobody ever knows, with injuries and all.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard predicting what's going to happen late in the season when that's a factor into it, So, I mean, I don't know. Bengals won their division both years off of the heels of Lamar Jackson getting hurt at some point during both of those seasons. Lamar's been healthy for the past couple of years. Does something happen this year? That nobody knows, right? Could happen to anybody. So,
and I mean, it's the same thing with our Super Bowl picks, because if something happens to Brock Purdy, then that changes the future for the 40. Or if CMC gets hurt again,
mm-hmm.
What does that change for the Niners? Same thing, Lamar. If Josh Allen gets hurt, if Joe Burrow gets hurt, it changes everything for all of these teams. And I think that's what makes the NFL fun in a way, because it is very difficult to predict. You've got Mahomes, another one. I mean, you can't forget about him. They still have the dark magic. They might not have won the Super Bowl, but the dark magic is still there in the AFC for them.
Yeah. Do you have like a surprise darling this year? Like a surprise, breakout team that wins their division or even, place, seeds very high in the playoffs?
I had a really, really bad one last year. A really bad one.
Who was
it was
last year?
Just about as bad. In fact, it probably was worse than you saying the Ravens were going to be a regression candidate and then they got the 1 seed.
Yeah.
I may have picked the Titans to win the South last year.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you did. I remember that.
I did. Yeah. I was close, right? Win the South, get the first pick.
Honestly, with how bad the South is every year, they probably weren't too far away from winning the South.
Yes.
And they went 3-14.
Who is the team that I could see making a run? Is it a Rams, or something out there where you get one more Stafford run? I don't know if you count that as out there enough, but I don't even know who my Super Bowl pick is right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's a pretty crowded field this year. Some breakout teams I think the Chargers run it back again for another season. I think they battle for the AFC West crown. I think that they've got a pretty well-constructed roster. They went out, they got some pass catchers this year. You revamped the running back room. Even though Rashawn Slater's out for the year, I still think that offensive line will be fine. And then you get another year of a Jesse Minter coach defense where hopefully that, something they can build off of what they had last year. And I think that they showed a lot of great things last year. Falcons offense this year is going to be something to watch because their defense is so bad. So Michael Penix Jr. is just going to have to airmail it. But are they just going to outscore every single team with all of their offensive weapons?
Coming from experience, doesn't work. Doesn't work very well.
They also have a much easier schedule than we did last year.
Yeah,
like they are going, they are playing in the worst division in football.
Do the Are the Saints the number 1 pick next year?
I think I put the Giants as my number 1 pick next year.
Okay.
Because the Saints also have the benefit of playing in the worst division in football this year. The Giants don't have that benefit. So no, I think the Giants might be picking number 1 overall. And sucks because Dave Ball's gonna lose a job. Deservedly so, but it's still, I think he's a good coach.
That's the NFL. That's the NFL.
It is the NFL.
What do you think about the Patriots? That's been a team. I know I saw Good Morning Football. I saw a couple of them had them making the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think that they're sniffing the playoffs. I mean, really, any team from that division that might sniff the playoffs, I still think is the Dolphins, just because they've got the pass catchers to make it happen. And if you can just do it despite your offensive line and in your mid defense, I think that they could do it. I think the Jets aren't going to be as bad as everybody thinks they're going to be this year as well.
Here's my wild card pick that I'll throw in this year. I feel like Rams is I can't that doesn't really count. I mean, they made the playoffs last year, didn't they? I think they did.
Yeah, they won their division last year.
I was going to say
they're the only teams that gave the Eagles
that's right.
their money in the playoffs.
That's right. How about the Panthers?
That's I'm not bullish on the Panthers personally, but
again, you're talking about a bad division.
You are.
And I mean, 9-8 could win that division. But I still think the Bucs are probably the best team in that division. But in injury, maybe the Panthers sneak in there.
Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about the Panthers is that their defense is pretty bad still. Like, really, you don't have really any dudes on this defense other than J.C. Horn. Trayvon Mayweather gets safety, even though he can be a liability in coverage. He's really good against the run. Nick Scott still taking a starting role at the safety position. You don't really have any pass rush. You got DJ Wadham on the edge. Nick Scorton's projected to start this year, rookie out of Texas A&M. So I just don't think their defense is going to do anything for me to really have any faith in them.
I'm excited for football to begin on Sunday. Regardless of what happens, I'm just ready for some Bengals football to come back. Billy says Tampa Bay takes us out.
Billy, it happens every year, but I'm going Atlanta. I'm going Atlanta this year.
And I'll go Carolina. Why not? Let's just have some fun. Carolina did it. I know I put in a parlay on DraftKings back in like the now I don't even remember what it was, because I always like to do one where it's an 8-team, but I have at least 1 or 2 wild cards in there, but I only put like $1 on it.
Are you doing playoffs?
This is to win the division.
Okay, I'm going to do mine right now.
This is to win the division, and I did this. In fact, I can tell you, I did this back in July. Oh boy. Okay, this is not awful.
I'm going to put my entire balance on this too. What do you got?
I put $1 on this. Okay, I put Bengals, Bills, Jags, Chiefs, Lions, Eagles, Niners, Bucks, which actually I don't think is that crazy.
No.
If that hits, my $1 turns into $705 though.
All right, we're gonna do a $50. I'm only gonna do a 7-leg. I don't bet on the North.
$50.
I will just put my entire balance on this.
Does your wife know this?
It's not. Yeah, she knows. I think. Where do I go to futures? Where's futures at?
On DraftKings.
Oh,
yeah, you got to go up to it. There it is. Yeah, you got to NFL
division winners. So we're not touching the North. I don't bet for or against the Bengals. It's for good reason.
Okay.
We're gonna go Bills minus 330.
Okay.
Go Texans plus 105.
Okay.
Packers plus 165. Atlanta plus 220. Niners plus 155. Eagles.
I'll take the Giants, you coward.
I'm going to take the Chargers plus 370 to win the West this year.
Ooh, okay. So what are your odds here? They might not even let you bet $50 on this.
Oh, they
might have a cap.
$50 will pay out $22,000.
Dinner's on you that night.
Should we do it? Should I pull the trigger?
What do you think, comment section? Should Mick put $50 on that to win $22,000? I love, you're over here betting $50. I'm over here betting $1. That shows that I work in the radio industry and you work in the finance industry.
Now, if I put $1, let's see if I have a riskier. $1 would win 460. What is your risky bet that puts you at 700?
Let's see. Jags. So I'm at plus 70401. I also have an extra leg in there as well.
Oh, yeah, you do have you have an extra game in there. That's why.
Correct.
Or an extra division winner.
Yeah, because I went Bengals, Bills, Jags, Chiefs, Lions, Eagles, Niners, Bucks. Lisa says that's insane. Do it.
Bet has been placed.
Oh, boy, Lisa. Mick's buying the beer at the tailgate the next game if he does that. If you hit that. In fact, you might be buying the beer all year long.
So we got Bills, Texans, Chargers to win the AFC West. That's my big bet this year.
I cannot wait until the Sunday night football game. It's going to be like, I don't know if the Chiefs and the Chargers are playing that last game, but winner gets the division, and you're going to be sitting there. I guess at that point you'd probably hedge, but
I'd probably cash out if I could. I'd probably cash out. They offer me $10,000 if it's hinging on that one game. Yeah, I'll.
How many goggles could you buy with that much money?
I don't.
So many goggles.
Factory.
I don't know that you'd be able to afford quite that, but no, that'd be the ski goggles would be going. I just would love to see you stressing that Sunday night game. Bengals have done what they have, but no, you're stressing about maybe it's the Falcons against the Panthers or something. Sunday night football. Winner goes to the playoffs, and your future rests on Michael Penix's hand. Fantastic. I hope it happens. Enjoy the game. If you're going to Cleveland, be safe. Enjoy it. I guess it's one of the last games that they'll have at their new stadium, at their old stadium, rather, because the new one's coming in the next couple of years. So if you're making the trip, enjoy it. And we'll be back next week talking a little Bengals Browns and a little Bengals Jags as well. Open in Orange happening in 1 week. Looking forward to it.
It's going to be something.
I can't wait. Remember to follow us on our social media channels. We're Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We're also on your favorite podcasting platform. Make sure you subscribe. Give us a 5-star rating. That way, that'll help more people. Helps us out as well. So please make sure you do that. You got any parting thoughts?
No. If you're going to the game, bring us some a win. Be safe.
Yeah, be safe. Houday, Frank, Lisa, everyone, Billy, for joining us. Even you, Riley. Thank you for watching. Can you believe that I'm actually saying something nice to him? He's usually a jerk to me. He is. Have a good rest of your week, and Mick, Houday.
Houday. Thanks for watching.